Hello everyone, this is Kosher Bacon. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk. So, why am I recording a Let's Talk right now? So, making videos, right? There's a lot that goes into it that I didn't even realize before I started. So there's recording the gameplay, what I'm doing right now, right? That takes time, especially if you want to have cool, interesting content. You're going to want to have interesting gimmicks in your videos, like flying backwards through an ocean. But then, after that, it's not done. You then gotta, most of the time, you gotta do video editing. For example, there's bits at the beginning and end of my videos. Like, that's another thing I would do. That's fine. There's bits at the beginning and end of my videos when I press start recording and stop recording because the hotkey doesn't work in Minecraft for whatever reason. And if I ever flub words like I just did over there, I might want to cut that out. In this case, I'm going to leave it in because it proves my point. So, editing, that takes time, and then once you're done editing, you gotta wait for videos to process. So I just did Stoneblock episode 16 or 17, can't remember which one that was. It's the one where the intro starts in the 1.13 loading screen, and I'm kind of all over the place in that episode. And waiting for it to render, I figured, hey, let's do a Let's Talk. Why not? I've been pretty slow on getting content out recently, so let's get some more content going. So the topic of this Let's Talk is, first off, after the video rendering's done, you then gotta upload it to whatever you're doing, and that takes time too, and it eats up the internet, so that was actually my problem with Fortnite. I was only playing Fortnite whenever I would upload stuff, so I was having such horrible latency, I didn't even realize it for some reason. I'm just dumb. I wish I knew what was causing this. It's very weird. Like, if we do F3A, does that fix it? It does. Alright, cool. So the topic of today's Let's Talk, now that I'm done rambling, is a review not of a movie, but of an episode of a TV show. Black Mirror, Season 3, Episode 1, Nosedive. I have not watched any other episodes of Black Mirror, and this episode's like a year old, and I've only just now seen it, and my goodness, what an episode. Like, I will definitely be going back and watching the other things. I thought Black Mirror was something completely different to what it was before. Hey, dude. Slash effect P. Oh, that's right, the syntax changed. Give at P Minecraft night. I wish it would auto tab for you over there. Up here. 100,000 1 true. Okay, so now we've got night vision without particles. Cool. So now, under the sea, it looks so much better. I don't know why I didn't do that the first couple episodes. So, let's get to the talking. Spoiler-free review. First off, I recommend go seeing it. Black Mirror is a TV show about humans' interactions with technology. The name is derived from when you use your phone and you turn off the screen, it's a black mirror reflecting you back at yourself because you're looking at it. Interesting name for the title. And it sort of explores how humans can interact with technology in futuristic-esque settings where the technology that they're using isn't something that we have available today, but it will be soon, and the possible negative consequences of that. Fair warning, the show is very mature. Like, it's not gratuitous, but it holds nothing back. It does not pull any punches, and will almost certainly leave you with a sense of existential dread. So yeah, you've been warned. Mature audience things, and also consider that a warning for this video as well, because I'm also going to talk about it a lot, and this might get a little more mature than some of my other videos, so if any of my younger viewers are watching this, I didn't even know you existed, and also maybe you shouldn't watch this. Viewer discretion is advised, yada yada yada. Onward to the episode. So, what did I like about this episode? Obviously, as my first Black Mirror, I was kind of interested in the whole concept of it, and I really liked the execution of it. It felt pretty much flawless. I'm still mulling it over in my head. It's been maybe 48 hours since I've seen it, and I'm still thinking about it, so that's good. The premise is that there's this woman in a society, like most women, they're in societies, and the way this society works is very similar to our own, but a notable difference is most of social media appears to have been coalesced into one type of platform, where it's the equivalent of Twitter, Facebook, all mixed together, and hey, cool, Minecraft music. That sounds cool. Good old Minecraft slideshow, because I'm losing frames left, right, and center over here. So, in addition to the regular social media, Facebook, Twitter thing that appears to have happened, people vote on one another just based on their interactions. Like, you had a pleasant interaction with someone, give them 4 stars, give them 5 stars. And what's interesting about it is this has a tangible effect on people, because you have these contact lenses in your eyes, so you see someone who's a 4.5 star person. Oh, that's a pretty nice person, you know? A lot of people seem to like them. But then you see someone who's a 3.2, that guy's kind of meh. And then you see a guy who's 1.3, and you're like, who did he kill? I want nothing to do with this person. And it affects society in other ways. I imagine people with higher numbers probably have low insurance rates, and in the film we see the main character, she averages around a 4.2 for the beginning of the film, but starts to slip up, not the film, the episode, but starts to slip up near the midway mark, and I'll get into that in just a little bit, and she drops below 4.2, so she's trying to board this airplane, right? And they're like, well, we lost a seat, but we have one seat available, but it's reserved for people with a 4.2 average or better, and she's like, yeah, I'm a 4.2, and they're like, well, no, unfortunately, up until very recently you were, but now you're a 4.183, and, like, I don't know. It was very interesting to watch how that effects would be. And the coolest thing about this episode was, not specifically for the airport scene, because I feel like that would be called discrimination in today's day and age, but I feel like society could actually go that direction. We would actually do that if we were to adopt this type of technology. And the hour-long episode really delved into a lot of aspects of how it happened. The episode is called Nosedive because the main character, this woman, I forget what her name is now, of course, she starts to take a nosedive. She starts off normal, she's a 4.2, trying to get higher numbers. Specifically, she's looking at houses to rent because she wants to, move up in the world, get a house, boyfriend, marry, that sort of thing. The usual American dream, if you will. But the nice place that she wants to go to is a little bit outside of her price reach, but if you're a 4.5 or higher, there's a discount. Makes sense, right? Like, you'd want to live in a neighborhood with nice people. So what was interesting about it, what's noticeable right off the bat, is that the people, they're nice, yeah, but it feels so artificial. Like, as a viewer, they intend for you to notice that. This looks really cool. Like, these people are talking, chirping away, and it's so fake. And it's like, one of the other characters in the show who's kind of tired of the whole thing describes it best. There's a difference between being sweet and giving someone diabetes. And it felt like it was giving me diabetes with how sweet these people were acting. And to be fair, they did an amazing job with that. Like, I'm not complaining, I'm saying, wow, this is awesome. And it just kept going throughout the entire thing. We see the effects that this type of thing could have on society, what the writers of Black Mirror seem to think. I thought these things didn't work if there was a block above them. No, they work. Cool. Sometimes Minecraft is an excellent scenery generator. I mean, look at this. Say another game that you get something like this with. Subnautica, maybe? I don't own Subnautica, but I've seen some videos and screenshots. It looks cool. Maybe one day. Anyways, moving on from this area. We got these drowned mobs. Oh, he's holding an Italia shell. Cool. And the music, it's just great. I love this game. So, going back on talking about the episode, like, again, it really scared me because I was like, yeah, people would absolutely do this. And it's not even like a genuinely being mean thing. Think about it. In real life, if you knew that someone was a better person, a nicer person, you'd want to be around them. Because that's the entire premise of the whole episode, I think. Not that this is what we would become, this is what we are, just seeing numbers made it easier for people. Think about it. In real life, the attractive, the people, I know that's a weird sentence, but people who are good with social interactions are typically favored by society. And it's kind of hard to put a tangible effect to it. That's one of the areas where the show wouldn't be like real life. I feel like it would be a lot more subtle in real life, like it is right now. So yeah, that's something. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain this and I can't. Attractive people will probably go through life thinking that people are a lot nicer than people usually are, because you see an attractive person and your natural inclination, for whatever reason, is to be nice to them. Like, unless you make a conscious effort not to, you'll probably treat people based on assumptions that you make about them. Now, technically, that's racism, that's profiling, whatever, but the fact is, yeah, that's a thing. People do that. It's what we do. It's how we were designed. It's how we are. And while it's certainly good to be conscious of the effect this can have on society and to fight against the negative effects of it, also acknowledge the fact that that's human nature at the end of the day. Is this jungle stuff? It is. I thought these pirate ships were all spruce. That looks weird. I'm amazed they made something sideways look good, like they did this. So that's cool. What else do I want to talk about? I really loved, there was one gimmick in the episode, so these people use their phones to vote on one another, right? If you get a good vote, it makes a good noise. If you get a bad vote, it makes a bad noise. I can't imitate it. I'm not even going to bother attempting to imitate it. But they worked the noises into the soundtrack as we got to the end of Rising Action towards the climax of the episode, and that was really cool. I really liked the ending of the episode. I'm probably not going to spoil it. At this point, you've either seen it or you're not seeing it, or you're like me and you will see it one day, in which case I won't spoil it for you. But yeah, overall, I loved the episode. I can't wait to see more. Like, oh my goodness, that was so cool. I can't even. And it's hilarious how much it parallels real life and how real life would work. And I know I keep saying that, but it's still true. Like, this is exactly what society would do, is what I kept thinking to myself. A couple unrealistic things, but yeah, why wouldn't people with lower ratings who are less nice, in general, because, like, the society has determined that they're less nice, why wouldn't they have higher insurance rates or less premiums available to them? There's one scene where she's trying to rent a car and she has to wait in the slow line because she's no longer a high enough number to go to the express line. Or when she goes to get the car, it's an older model because she's a lower number. So maybe let's unpack that just a little bit. What happens to what's-her-name's number, the main character's number? And I guess this is going to be spoilery, so, you know, spoils ahead, folks. So, throughout the film, she's a 4.2. Not film, it's not a movie, it is a TV episode. I'm going to call it film 20 more times, I apologize. I've probably already done it 100 times. So throughout the episode, she's working on her number, right? And she comes across an opportunity to really boost her numbers. One of her friends, who is like a solid 4.5 better, and while she's just a 4.2, is having a wedding. Yay for her, right? And all her famous, popular friends are going to be at this wedding, and she wants the main character to be her maid of honor and deliver a speech. And the main character is thinking, wow, this is great. If I deliver a good speech, I'll get tons and tons of 5-star ratings from all these popular people, and all their friends are going to 5-star me, and it will really boost my popularity so I can get the house and do my dream, right? Except events sort of conspire against the main character. This is something I'm still trying to unpack. Was the main character a bad character? Like a bad person? She tries to be popular, don't we all? She wants things, don't we all? She sort of has a freak out that causes her to lose popularity, but I'll get to that in a second, but don't people do that? And furthermore, if you were in a society where you had to put on your game face 24/7 because you're constantly being rated and viewed by other people, and the ratings are public too, so you can see exactly what people thought of you when they thought of it, would that not drive you insane? I think I would go nuts. I would just stop caring. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure how society would actually react to that. I feel like it would be similar to how Black Mirror portrays it, but that is awesome. I forgot they could do that. I mean, I didn't know that I read that they could do that, but I didn't realize that was a thing. Come here, squid. I want your ink. You should be able to bottle this. Like, this is how you should get ink bottles. I don't know. I wouldn't know how I would do that as far as game design goes. So, the main character goes on board a plane to get to her destination, but her plane is slightly delayed. Now, this is important. She was having an argument with her brother, who's pulling like a solid 3.7, so he doesn't particularly care too much. Her brother as a character was interesting. He's the one with the line about giving people diabetes versus just being sweet to them. He's sort of like, he tries to not care about it, but he does care, like, at the end of the day, a little. But perhaps not to the extremes of the main character. And again, I don't know if the main character is bad for trying to, game the system like she's doing. She goes to a wedding not because she's happy for her friend, but because it will increase her ratings. Although people can be both at the same time, I would argue. But this is someone who wasn't really her friend, as we'll later discover. Like I said, spoilers. So, what happens? They have a fight. He gives her a 1-star rating as she's walking out the door. And I kind of thought that was kind of funny, but whatever. She gives him one back. It's the equivalent to flipping someone the bird. And siblings argue, siblings fight, that's how they do. They're currently living together to save costs. She kind of resents him a little because he's kind of a slob, from what I could tell. He's He's the stereotypical gamer guy, except gamers also do points too, or whatever. Like, I don't know. He felt like a big stereotype that kind of hit you over the head with the message about how this is bad, because he constantly complained about her and her obsession with the popularity. I don't know. I feel like his character could have been done better, but maybe he was deliberately supposed to be blunt. So that would be cool. Punch. Punch. So, as she gets this 1-star rating, she looks back at him, she doesn't walk where she's going, she bumps into someone, a 4.8, and the 4.8's like, dude, or not dude, dudess, whatever you do, because she spilled her coffee or her drink on herself, so she gives her a 1-star rating. Meanwhile, car service has been waiting for her this whole time, honking the horn, so then when she gets to the airport, the car service guy gives her a 1-star too. She was also really annoying in the car, chirping all high on the phone. Like, you know those people who just talk with high volumes in public places or in cars with you, and you're like, quiet, lady. Lady, trying to drive here. Yeah, I don't know what my accent was over there. So he gives her a 1-star rating, and that's what actually drops her average from a 4.2 to below that, so therefore she can't get on board that flight, and then she freaks out at the attendant, and this is where it gets kind of unrealistic. Like, I can imagine this being an optional opt-in type thing, where, like, the people who opt in to do Facebook or Twitter or whatever, they would do this, because that's the type of thing they like to do. But this actually... Like, there was a security guard called because she was freaking out and she did profanity, which is apparently the most horrendous crime you can do. So the guy comes up. He's your stereotypical security guard with the bulletproof vest and the cap and the walkie-talkie, but he's not carrying a gun. He's got a phone with him, and he can do things. He can lower your number by 1 whole point, and given that this is an average of all the ratings you do, that could take you from a 4 to a 3 like that. And also give you double damage, where votes against you count twice as much now, which is a way to penalize people. And I thought, okay, that's a cool way of doing it, but that's like something for Reddit to do, not for like law enforcement. Like, this is a woman who's screaming at the customer service agent. Yeah, and I can definitely imagine that if she's opted into this, this is a good way for society to try and indicate to her that she shouldn't do that, but really? Like, that felt a little weird to me, but I was willing to accept it at that point, because I was pretty deeply engaged in it. I might need to watch it again to fully understand it, I think. Like, I'm sure there's some subtleties of the episode, some symbolism or imagery that just went over my head. So this just leads to a total nosedive, where her night gets progressively worse and worse, where her number gets lower and lower, and she gets more and more desperate to try and get good ratings to turn herself around. It's the sunken cost effect. Odds are, if at the airport she had just said, "All right, fine, I can't make the thing. That sucks, but you know what? At least I've still got chicken. At least I'm still 4.1." She probably would have been fine. But because she was the maid of honor and she had to deliver that speech, she kept digging herself deeper and deeper and deeper. And I'm not going to spoil the ending, but wow, did she go so down. Like, she kept going down and down. And it was pretty hilarious to watch her character. But behind all the hilarity, behind the cool concept, there really is that, like I was describing earlier, that existential crisis when I realized, you know, this is probably an analogy for how society is today. The difference is we don't see the numbers, but they definitely affect us. Like, people judge people all the time. That's what people do. I judge people I see on the street. I was eating at a restaurant one time, and this woman brought in her kids and was really loud and rude to waitstaff, and I was like, that's a bad person. I don't like that person. So yeah, we do that already. And it's just kind of crazy to think how if someone's having a bad day, it could totally turn her around, because there's one part in the one part of the episode where she's trying to hitchhike. She gets into a rental car, the car breaks down, or the battery dies and she doesn't have the adapter for it or whatever. Good old future. Still don't have universal power connectors. Freaking USB-C. Anyways, so she's trying to hitchhike, and people see her and they're like, wow, she's a very low number at this point because her number keeps going down. I'm not going to hitchhike to her, and furthermore, I'm going to give her a 1 star again, pushing her further and further, constantly putting her into a downward spiral where every step she gets lower and lower and she can't claw her way back up to normalcy. And what sparked this all? She had an argument with her brother, she was a little distracted and bumped into a lady, she was loud in the taxi because she was excited about the wedding. Those are normal things that normal people do. Which is why, come to think of it, the main character wasn't really a bad person. She kind of went a little insane from the popularity crush, because this is a society where you're judged so much on your popularity, and it kind of, again, mirrors our own society. It literally drove her insane, I think. And yeah, minor spoilers for the end of the episode. I'm still not telling everything. I hope. I don't know, I might. I'm just sort of rambling here. I have no script for these things. I just open my mouth and talk, which is why 30% of my words are and So yeah, again, does that mirror real life society? More so now than ever. Kids of today, they're on social media, every second of their lives is captured and recorded and posted for the world to see. It can become an incredible, crushing sensation, I imagine. I myself personally don't do too much social media. I have a Reddit account that I occasionally use to comment on stuff that I think is funny or whatnot, or post a question somewhere, but for the most part, I'm not super active with it. I'm not going to publish the name of it, but it shouldn't be too hard to figure out if one was to go looking. I don't care if they look. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't even imagine the stress that would put people under, and that's happening in real life today. And here's the thing: the kids, they didn't opt into this. Their parents set up their Facebook accounts and Twitter accounts, and sure, the kids are going along with it because that's what kids do. Most children listen to their parents when their parents say do this or do that, or well, no, kids obviously don't listen when you say don't do this. But I'm saying is that they'd go along with it because that's sort of what they do. That's what kids do. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as the parents are making good decisions. So this comes the big question. Is social media like this good? And according to Black Mirror, no. No, it is not. That was a very negative... This woman had some very negative repercussions for what happened to her, and that might partially be because of the social media thing that she was involved in. And from what it looked like in the episode, the social media, like... Oh yeah, that's right, that pulls it down. I didn't realize that... Oh yeah, that's right. I did look at that. I did a test episode of that. Like, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. According to Black Mirror, no, that's not a good thing. That is a bad thing. And maybe that's the message of the episode. Something else I really liked about the episode, so the main character's best friend who's getting married, right? Her husband and the best man were a little too friendly in the few scenes we got for them. So much so that after the fact I was like, why did they put emphasis on that? Because clearly the director, the writer, whatever, put emphasis on the fact that those two were a little too friendly. I think they were gay, is what they were trying to go for. Which, you know, nothing wrong with that, but then why is he marrying a woman if he likes guys? So I think why that happened? They got married not because they liked each other, because it would boost their ratings, because having a big wedding with all those people, that's why it happened. And to be fair, the main character's best friend tells the main character, do you know why I invited you? Not because you're my best friend, because having a 4.2 over there gave a speech. All the simulations we ran showed that it would have a tremendous effect on popularity. And the main character's like, what? Is this all just a numbers game to you? And the main character's best friend is like, yeah, it's a numbers game to me. What, are you saying it's not for you too? That's the only reason you agreed to show up, I bet. So yeah, I guess minor spoilers over there, but that's still a part of the rising action. I'm still not giving away the climax if I can help it. I guess I could, it doesn't matter. Everyone's seen it by now, except for me. And now I've seen it, and I think it's awesome. So yeah, it was just an awesome thing. I really enjoyed watching it. I would highly recommend checking it out, along with maybe some other Black Mirror episodes. That's definitely what I'm going to be doing. Anyways, thank you all for watching, or listening in this case. Listening to me ramble on and on and on and on. I'll see you again next time.